How's it going, Anurag? It's great to get you on the podcast. You know, we've had this thing on the books or in the making here for a little bit, and I'm real excited for our conversation today. I think it's going to be really interesting.
As am I, Joe. Thanks for having me on the podcast. And I know we've been trying to do this for a while. Glad to finally be able to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. So, why don't we start with your background, right? How did you get into IT? What did you see about the industry or the area, right, that interested you enough in it to get you into this area, and now you're, on the security side. What was that journey like?
Yeah. So, without dating myself, I've been around, dealing with technology way before the internet. But the fortunate thing for me was I had the distinct privilege of being associated with some great technology organizations, everything from Apple to Sprint to British Telecom. And then along the way, I was associated with a couple of really successful startups, all of which dwelled on technology. A lot of them dwelled into communications, inherently focused into mobile and wireless, and more importantly, on security. And then along the way, I had, again, the honor to be part of the United States National Broadband Task Force, which was President Obama's way of making sure that we as a country had a broadband plan that we could leverage across industries and across technologies as a means to move our country's agenda forward, both economically and socially. So that was an absolutely amazing experience. Most recently, here in my current position, we are in the business of delivering really compelling messaging platforms to customers across the globe. We have mobile operators as our customers as well. They leverage our platform to enable services for their own subscribers. But today we'll be spending most of our time talking about our enterprise business, which kind of leveraged the heritage we brought to the table from the carrier business and allowed us to build up platforms purpose-built for the enterprise so that the enterprise could securely and with control leverage the strength and the capability that mobile messaging brings to bear. And so that's essentially what we are currently doing. And I'm really excited about not only where we are headed, but really the opportunity that lies ahead of us. What is the problem that you're trying to solve? And I think that's a great way of getting into the depth and breadth of this challenge that we all face. Going back, to about, I think, 92, 93, 94, short message services or short message system that we refer to as SMS today, they started proliferating across mobile phones. As mobile phones proliferated, SMS started to become really important and popular. And then fast forward to the advent of the iPhone in 2007, all of a sudden we had these smart devices on our fingertips, and people found sending mobile messages as a very efficient means to communicate. Come Gen Zs and Gen Xers, they brought all of that into the enterprise. And as mobile messaging encroached into the enterprise, not because people preferred to use it, which they did, also it gave them the means to be more productive and allowed them to be brief in their communication, but get the same job done. We've seen data that a mobile message essentially gets opened within 15 minutes of it being received on the receiving end, right? Email takes much longer. Email is much more detailed and sometimes, can get lost in the whole realm of spam and other means and don't get the same response that a quick mobile message would get. Now, all of that was great till we saw that there wasn't really a platform that had been purpose-built for the enterprise. It's great to use mobile messaging within the enterprise as long as you're not sharing anything that is intellectually important to you or is proprietary to the organization. And in most cases, when you are communicating for a company or on behalf of a company, all of those do apply. And then when you put that out in the consumer realm, you also put that out in the open because none of the consumer brands or platforms were ever built to be enterprise ready. And by enterprise ready, I mean, they were never built to be secure. They never promised security. They were never built to be controlled by the IT organization. They were promised that. And they were never built to be, help you stay in regulatory compliance of your obligations. They never said that. And so we felt that there was an opportunity for us to go out and build a platform for that particular purpose. And that's how NetSphere came about. So it is actually built on those four pillars that I mentioned: security, control, regulatory compliance, and then finally, a range of productivity features that are built within the platform to provide a level of convenience to the end user.
So it's like an app, like Signal or something like that, that provides enhanced security for, messaging and probably a whole host of interactions that you can have within modern technology now.
Yes, I think you can compare it to Signal. We refer to it more as a platform than an app because it has a lot more than even Signal offers. In fact, if the US government was using our platform when they ended up using Signal and had vol plans getting posted when they shouldn't have been posted, that wouldn't have happened if they would have leveraged our platform. So that also describes the problem really well. People like mobile messaging. They go out and start using their own platforms without being fully aware whether they address some of the other challenges they need to be aware of, and then they get themselves in trouble. But, should they use NetSphere, all of that does not happen, and they get the benefit of all of that without putting themselves and their organization at risk.
Yeah.